Dude, Brad, what's going on?
Woo! How's it going?
Man, I'm doing pretty good, man. I've just been on like a big old like horror movie tirade here, and I've learned so much about the horror genre. I even know the three simple rules for surviving a horror movie. Do you know what those three rules are?
Hit me with them, dude. That's good to know. That's important.
Okay, yeah. Okay, here we go. What did the nerd said? Okay, I know what he said. Rule number one. Well, the fuck? I I don't have a landline. Do you have a landline?
I know I don't got no landline.
Well, here, let me
I don't
let
do
me check
landlines.
on that. Well,
Too many
um,
spams.
hold on. I'm just gonna answer it. It won't take long. I'll be right back.
I'm sure it's about your car's warranty or something. Wait a minute. Now you're not supposed to say that. You're not supposed to say
No,
that.
it's fine,
I
dude.
don't
I'll
even
be
know the
right back.
rules, and I know you're not supposed to say that. That's not good. That's a jinx. You shouldn't do that. And you should be answering the phone anyway. That's not a good plan. Nobody answers the phone. Nobody answers a landline. Who answers to the landline? Who answers anything? Bertman's been he's been really excited to get into this review franchise, and we get here, we get all set up, and he's gonna go answer a freaking spam call, while we're on the air, essentially trying to get warmed up. Who the hell are you, dude? What the heck is it? Quit jumping in here. I'm trying to wait on my friend the Bretman over here. What's this guy doing here? What are you doing here?
I want to play a game, Brad.
Play a game? What kind of game? I don't want to play no games.
Oh, you want to play this one if you want to save Bert's life.
What do I care about Bert? I'm not gonna save his life. What are you talking about, dude? He's over there. I'm over here. It's all good.
Well, without him, you got nobody to do the channel with, so I know you're bluffing.
Okay. Okay. What game? You've intrigued me. I'll play a game. What game do you want to play?
Movie trivia.
Okay. Hit me up. I got movies. I know trivia.
Who's the killer in Halloween?
The first Halloween?
Yes.
That's Michael Myers. That's an easy decision.
Shit. Okay, one more.
Okay. Okay, day.
Name the killer in Friday the 13th.
The first Friday the 13th?
Friday the 13th.
Well, that's going to be Pamela Voorhees in the first one there, 1980.
Ah, shit.
She was a fine killer, too.
But I will be back. I will be back, and I will gut you like a fish.
Yeah, bring it on, friend. Get the hell out of here. I'm waiting on my friend the Bertman to get back anyway. Come on. Get out of here with this bullshit. What's going on, guys and gals, and welcome to Good Real Hunting. We have for the good reels, so you don't have to. It's your boy Brad. The Bretman's over here. I gotta say, that black shirt is suspicious, dude. There's a dude that popped on here right before we started this thing, and he was wearing a black shirt too. I'm a little bit. We won't get into it. I'm just speculating at this point. But either way, that's the Bretman over there. I don't know who it was, dude.
Fuck Steve.
Steve's a nice guy. Don't say that about Steve.
Oh, actually, cool. You know what? I think it's Frank Riker, because I know how much he loves Scream. And I think that was him.
Well, welcome to the party, pal. Either way, that's the Bretman. Today we're starting the Scream review series because a new movie in the Scream franchise is coming out next month. So we're gonna go ahead and review each and every one of those movies leading up to that, and then we're gonna rank the franchise at that point. We're gonna have a little fun along the way. And today's the first one. I'm excited about it. I know this is one of Brett's favorite horror movies of all time. It might be your favorite. Is it? It rotates sometimes between this and The Conjuring. But
it does. So right now it is the Scream franchise, and I've been looking forward to doing this on the channel ever since we started the channel, but we were just waiting for that golden opportunity. This is the golden opportunity. And before we really kick in what this first Scream movie is about, if you want to support our channel and just to follow along with our Scream review series, just like this video, share and subscribe. Of course, ring that bell, ding ding ding, so y'all know when the next video is up and running. And without further ado, let's talk about my favorite horror movie of all time.
So yeah, I'll start off things. Obviously the best thing about this movie, in my opinion, is the opening of the movie. I think it's my favorite. It's one of my favorite openings in all of horror, honestly, in all of cinema. It's up there. It's fantastic. I absolutely loved it. And it just, it's so surprising the way they, and this isn't new information. Everybody knows this about Scream. This is one thing everybody loves about Scream. I'm just going to get this obvious one out of the way early. But it's just, you throw Drew Barrymore in, you think she's going to be your final girl or whatever in the movie, and you kill her off in the first 12 minutes. And I thought it was really genius. The way it's a very suspenseful scene. It's actually quite scary, especially for a slasher at this time, where they've kind of lost their edge over the years of being scary, really turned more silly over the course of the 80s and early 90s. But this comes out in 96, and it's a tense opening scene with a new killer that actually has a voice, which is new, kind of fresh. Obviously we've had a couple with Freddy Krueger and stuff like that in the past, but and it's a tense sequence, man. It's super tense. It goes on for a while, but what I like about it is it gives you hope. You still think Drew's going to make it out throughout the whole scene, and it keeps that hope alive. Whenever she's running away, she sees her parents out there, and you think she's going to make it to her parents, and then no, Ghostface catches up, and then ultimately she ends up getting freaking strung like a bean out on the tree out there. I don't know what a bean has to do with this, but it was cool. I mean, it was dope, and it was actually pretty frightening. It was crazy.
Yeah, and that is actually the first thing I had on my positive is the opening, the greatest opening for me in horror movie history. Just with pretty much exactly a lot of the words that you said. It's tense, and just when Ghostface tells Casey, "Why do you want to know my name?" Because I want to know who I'm looking at, and that music changes. Gosh, that score! I'm telling you, and that's another positive too. The score of this movie is extremely underrated and not talked about enough. The score is fantastic. It sets the tone and the mood of scenes. But yeah, the opening, I loved it. Huge moment with Drew Barrymore. Gets it just because she is such a blockbuster name, and we haven't really seen anything like that in a long time. So the opening is just spectacular. I absolutely loved it, and it just sets us out for a very good ride within this franchise.
Right, and another part of what happens there is another positive of mine is how self-aware this movie is, and it starts in that opening when you start talking about your favorite scary movies, and you're talking about actual scary movies. You're talking about Halloween and Friday the 13th and Nightmare on Elm Street, and you're bringing all these movies up that have been such a big part of pop culture at this point. You're bringing that into this movie world here and making this movie self-aware right off the bat, and that continues throughout the movie, obviously, with with the rules, the horror rules, how to survive a horror movie, with them watching Halloween later in the movie, and Randy, he's watching freaking Jamie Lee, and he's like, "Hey, turn around, Jamie, what are you doing? Turn around, Lori." And then, Ghostface is actually walking in behind him, and you have that sequence when Sydney's talking to Ghostface and on the phone kind of in the middle of the movie, and she's like, "Oh yeah, it's always some idiot girl who should be going out the front door, but instead she's going up the stairs." And just a couple minutes later, she's doing that same thing. All those little moments are great. It's gold. And I think that's really what makes this thing stand out, and really what brought back slashers is all this kind of stuff that you can make it fun and scary at the same time. It's a perfect balance.
Yeah, exactly, and very realistic too. Because that's what I had on there. So far, your 2 for 2 beat me to the punch. It's just horror movie references and the tropes that they just kind of like bring the light on here, and then just bring into like this brand new world where it's okay to talk about all the other horror movies. While, as you said, this movie is still scary, because this movie does have very scary, intense moments, especially with that third act, which I absolutely love. The third act of this movie. I love the chase scene between Ghostface and Sydney. And of course, spoilers, but again, this movie came out in 96. So it's been a while. So you and most people already know, but just in case, spoilers. And Billy and Stu being the killers, I knew Billy was a killer all along. Even with just the whole trickery, but I never imagined it being Stu as well, having 2 killers. That legit blew my mind. And right then and there, that's what made Scream my all-time favorite horror movie. Bring such a big twist like that, and just Stu stealing the show in the third act. Like, freaking Matthew Lillard is just so damn charismatic, and he just brings such a memorable character within not only the Scream franchise, but the horror franchise as well. Love the third act. It's just bonkers, man.
Leave her alone.
Leave her alone.
Leave her alone.
Face it, she's no Sharon Stone.
Exactly, dude. He's fantastic. And that brings me on to another point is just how good the characters in general are in this movie. You get into you get out. There's a bunch of them, right? And they're all memorable. Yeah, which is such a different change of pace than all the other slashers that led up to this. Usually, you get maybe one good character, maybe two, depending on where you're at. If you get a Dr. Loomis in there or something. But this movie, every character in here is memorable. I mean, Sydney is one of the best final girls of all time. But then you also have Gail in here. You got Dewey. Those they've always been a couple of my favorite characters in the franchise. And then on top of that, you got Stu with Matthew Lillard and you got Randy coming in here.
And then, of course, you got Billy Skeet Ehrlich. Yeah, sorry, I couldn't remember how to pronounce his last name.
But I gotta say, I think Stu and Randy are two of my favorite male characters in horror, and they're both in this because you don't. There's been a handful across the other franchises, I guess, that stand out, but usually the standout, performances are, the final girls or whatever. But here you get Stu and Randy, who they both stand out. They both steal the show at times, and they're great. They're absolutely fantastic, and they're a lot of fun.
Yeah, and Randy is such a great character too, because he just is so relatable within the horror community, because that's pretty much everybody in the horror community. And Randy is that representation, and that's why a lot of people love him, and that's why I love him for that too. Because I saw the 25th anniversary showing in October for when they put Scream in the theater. Skeet Ulrich. He thought it was a serious movie without the entire movie, so that's why he acted serious with every scene he's in. Because I believe some people be like, "Damn, dude, like lighten up and just show character." But he was just trying to play within the character of being the sketchy boyfriend and all that. And I think he just nails it out of the park. His motive's great. Him being a villain is just fantastic. And Sydney, one of the greatest final girls of all time, or probably the greatest final girl of all time. I switched between her and Erin from Your Next, but right now it is Sydney Prescott.
Yeah, she's very solid. She's very great, and obviously, she's got to share this movie with a lot of other people, but she still succeeds at being one of the top final girls of all time, which is hard to do. And most of the time, like I said earlier, it's you have the one character that kind of stands out, and everybody else you can forget all their names. But this one has so many different characters, and you walk away remembering all of them. And still, even with all that competition on the screen, Sydney ends up stealing it too as well, and becoming one of the best ever. And I think that's great. With all these characters, you get a lot of great moments with this whodunit aspect of the movie too, which is one of the best parts of it. A lot of red herrings and stuff like that.
Oh yeah, definitely the red herrings, and they really just explored the philosophy of that, and just to really get you confused and trying to make you doubt yourself of who the killer is. I think most people thought it was Billy all along, but with just how they try to like swerve that away with him being arrested and how he couldn't make that phone call. That was a very interesting thing. And then it's just how everything is explained within the third act with them Frank McContonweary killing Sidney Prescott's mom. It was actually Billy and Stu who did that. It's just, again, it's all fantastic.
Yeah, I think so too, man. It works out really nice. I think it works out really nice at the end of the day.
Hell yeah. And I really don't have any negatives, so I kind of have like little nitpicks and stuff that I just noticed within the movie, or just how some people have like little complaints about, and I was going to defend some of those. But so, do you have any negatives?
Really, the biggest thing for me is, while I like the personality that Ghostface has, and I think there's plenty of moments where there's tension, and it's actually scary at times, particularly when it gives you the suspense with these phone calls and things like that. It's very effective. But when Ghostface is on screen, he's just not that scary to me. I think it's probably because of Scary Movie that it may have ruined it for me for good.
Mm-hmm.
But when he's on screen, he's not scary. He's clumsy. He's falling around over the place. He's getting knocked out by freezer doors, and he's falling downstairs and all this stuff like that. And he just seems, when you compare him to, and you shouldn't, but when you compare him to other icons, he's definitely on the lower tier when it comes to scariness. And when you're talking about his physical form and him out there, again, great moments on the phone with the suspense and everything, but I think that knocks him down a little bit. And also the The kills just aren't that great. You know, there's a couple of them in here that are good. I think there's only like 7 in the movie, but you know they're all pretty forgettable for the most part.
Yeah, 7 right on the dot. Great job on that. But I want to defend the kind of clumsiness because I always thought, yeah, Ghostface is clumsy. But do you know why he's clumsy? Because Ghostface is human, and humans are damn clumsy. They're
That's
not
true.
Michael, and they're not Jason, and they're not Freddy Krueger. They're not that. Those guys, they're supernatural forces. So of course they're not going to be very clumsy. Well, besides if we're freaking considering Friday the 13th, Jason 2, 3, and 4, because he was human during that time. So of course he was going to be clumsy then, but when he became a zombie, not very clumsy at all. So I blame the supernatural forces, and Ghostface is not a supernatural force. They are human beings. They do human things, and that's why I believe they're clumsy. So I actually forgive Mr. Ghostface being clumsy.
Yeah, I mean, it makes sense. I mean, it's definitely a more realistic approach, and I respect that. It just for me, I don't know if it's the cape or whatever. I just for me, it's just not really a scary figure, you know, whenever you see him.
Mm-hmm.
But I do love the fact that, you know, it's kind of going back to the positives for a second. The idea of giving us 2 killers in this movie was absolutely genius. I forgot to touch on that a minute ago. But you get all these red herrings throughout the movie, and then at the end, you know, obviously you talked about it briefly. You get the twist at the end, but the double down on the killers was an absolute great call. Great call.
Yeah, absolutely. And one other things that these are just little things that just bother me. The first thing is Sidney Prescott, the queen of the chronic neck pain. What the hell did she do without this entire movie for her to just continuously grab her neck? Like I even lost count at one point. I legit tried to keep counts. I just like screw it. She's doing it too many times. But so that's just like a little bit nitpick. And the big nitpick for me is
She
to
needs a
name
Serta.
the killer of the Friday the 13th and Casey Baker going, Jason, Jason. I see the movie 20 damn times. Well, if you see the movie 20 times, you know that Pamela Voorhees is the mother. You tricked me. No, bitch, she didn't trick you. You should have known that if you saw the movie damn 20 times. So that always bugs me.
Yeah, man. I mean, you think she's probably just seen Friday the 13th movies a lot, you know, but she doesn't know which one's which or whatever. But yeah, I think, she got real good right there at the beginning.
And she picked the wrong door. But
She did.
and she didn't grab a banana as a weapon. At the end of the day, so just the final thoughts of this, unless if you have any more negatives.
Fine.
Yeah, absolutely love this movie. It's just so memorable. The twist is great. The characters are great. All the character interactions within one another. You can just tell this cast had an amazing time. You can tell Wes Craven had an amazing time making this movie. So I just absolutely love it. It's the greatest horror movie for me personally of all time.
Yes, man. I love it. It's a movie that I really enjoy too. This is one that I've been watching ever since it came out. I was freaking 5 years old, I think. But you know, I've been around for it, man. Absolutely love it.
Hell yeah. So let's go ahead and rate this bad boy and get people on out here. So let me go ahead and just knock me out of the first. Guys, it's easily a 5 out of 5, a golden rule for me. Not even close.
Well, for me, it's going to be a 4.5 out of 5. It's
I knew it.
I know. I'm sorry. I like it a lot. I absolutely love this movie. I just, it's just not quite to that 5 for me. But at the end of the day, it's great. It's a game changer. I totally agree with that, and it's one I always go back to.
And don't worry, I will repay the favor in the summer of 2022 for a particular series we're doing. But with all the math there, that is going to be a 4.75 out of 5. So that is still a very damn good score of the Yippee Ki Yay, motherfucker.
Yippee Ki Yay, motherfucker.
Yes.
Hell yeah. So, guys, that's our first review of Scream. We got many more to go, and we want you to join the ride with us. So, Brad, let's go ahead and get us on out here.
Let's go.
Let's do it, guys. What did you all think about Scream from 1996? Do you think it's the greatest horror movie of all time? Is it your favorite horror movie of all time? Or do you have some problems with it, kind of like Frank Riker does? Let us know in that comment section down below, and let's get that discussion rolling.
And if you want to help us find the good reels, you can do so by finding us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Letterboxd, Spotify, and Apple Podcasts. Those links are going to be in the description for you to find down below.
Absolutely, they will be. And be sure to like this video, share, and subscribe. And of course, ring that bell, ding, 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 so y'all know when the next Scream review is up and running, and other feature episodes and live episodes.
Right, you are. Don't answer the landline, ladies and gents, as you know it's only going to be about your extended warranty being added onto.
Or the pizza delivery boy.
Yes. Nice
you
tip.
guys.
Thanks a lot.
We'll be right back.
Oh!